lose.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 43 with Justin Lewis. Justin, you're here.
I am.
Yep.
Hello.
Original Numpty Boy.
One of the OG numps.
You know, before the podcast, I asked you if you're okay with talking about trans things.
Yeah.
And you said no, but
But here we are.
Here we are.
Opening with
Are
it.
you ever worried about anyone finding any of the Numpty Boys episodes?
Why? Like in terms of the content of them?
Yeah.
No.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's out there.
People don't even know how to spell it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's
good luck
Yeah,
spelling numpty.
I mean, I think you could look up our names,
I think you probably could.
and they'd probably come up.
I think Justin Lewis is relatively easy to spell.
You think that would get you kicked out of med school?
I would imagine no.
You're like, it's amazing how you can just do things sometimes and then nothing
It's
happens.
pretty wild. Yeah.
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 Well, it's not even that bad. We weren't doing anything illegal.
No, and
Yeah.
our conversations were pretty aight.
Yeah. We just trying to joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I listen to them and I just think, man, I was so stupid. And thank you for being my friend, Justin.
Oh, of
Merry
course.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you as well. Yeah. Merry Christmas Eve, and then I hope that tomorrow treats you well.
Thank you. Yeah, you too. We're not going to be here for New Year's, but that's okay. I'll kiss somebody else.
It's all right. I will think of you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Are you going to write me a letter, too?
I can write you a letter.
Okay. Yeah. Can you kiss that?
No. That is a hard line. That's where I draw it, apparently.
Okay. Justin.
Yes.
Chandler. You're here for Christmas for a while.
I am.
And normally you're not here for a while.
Correct.
Normally you're here for a little bit.
Short little stints, but this time I actually get an extended stay. So
Yeah.
that's nice.
Do you feel more of the depression setting in since you've been back in Boise?
Is Boise known for depression? Does it float in the air around here? Is it like a contagious thing known to Boise?
Well, I'm not necessarily saying that. I'm just saying that Denver seems like fucking Narnia
Oh.
at this point. So if you go anywhere else in the world, I just would imagine that.
Hey, let me tell you, the transition from a workout in Denver to a workout in Boise is pretty nice.
It's got to be amazing.
Yeah, I have felt like my lungs, I feel like I'm drinking out of like a big gulp cup rather than sipping through a sippy cup. You know?
Yeah. Can you imagine if you went to Denver to Seattle?
I went Seattle to Denver, and let me tell you, I wouldn't recommend it.
Like, I know the other way around.
Yeah. First hike over in Denver, I was like, is this a different type of hiking? What is this? Why is it difficult to breathe?
How do you think it compares to Pocatello?
In what way?
Elevation. I mean, obviously, there's just nothing like Denver, essentially.
I didn't realize Mexico City is 2,000 feet elevation higher than Denver.
Oh.
Yeah.
I knew it was up there, but I didn't know it was that up there.
I didn't realize it was even up there. Yeah.
Really? Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I knew it was high, but I would think that Denver was higher.
Yeah.
Because that'd be like a mile and a half, wouldn't it?
Basically. Yeah.
Why aren't they the mile and a half city?
I don't know.
I would definitely be the mile and a half city.
Rebrand it. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Mexico City, mile and a half city.
Make it happen.
That's a good point.
What is that in kilometers? Mile and a half? Is that
Who cares?
Well, but what if it's a fun thing that we could rebrand? Because they probably use kilometers also.
You want to take a guess?
I think it's probably 3. I could be wrong.
3 kilometers?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's usually to estimate. I feel like 2 is fair.
You don't think more?
I probably should know.
What do you think the max is?
I do have a degree in chemistry, and so I probably should know how to convert a mile to a kilometer. But
kilometers they're more than miles, right? No, they're less than miles because a 5K is 3 miles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And see, 2-ish. That's fair.
Yeah. The 2 kilometer city, you think?
No. What is that? Yeah. That'd be 1.5 miles would be 2 to 3.
You think that's 3? The 3
Maybe.
kilometer city?
We could check. I don't want to.
You don't want to?
Yeah.
Do you want to rock, paper, scissors on what you think it is?
That sounds objective and
Okay.
fair.
1, 2, 3, shoot.
Okay.
1, 2, 3,
We
shoot.
didn't make any rules about what winning get
Yeah,
this in
I know.
this.
I know.
What are we going for?
Just we're playing rock paper scissors right now, bro. 1, 2, 3. Shoot! I'm not playing with you, dude. You suck, bro. Oh my god.
I got lost along the way. I didn't know what we were playing for
I
anymore. I need to know the stakes before I commit to the rules. So I'm not interested in learning the rules until I know what the stakes are.
We're fighting over how high Mexico City is, and what it's gonna be, 2 kilometers or 3 kilometers.
I think probably 3.
But that's why we're playing rock paper scissors, bro. So play me. 1, 2, 3, shoot. 1, 2, 3, shoot.
Oh, 2
3.
for 3?
No, it's 1 done.
Oh,
Yeah.
Then it's 3.
Yeah, it's 3.
Mexico's the 3-kilometer city. What do we call it? Like the Tri-K city?
I don't know what we call it.
I'm going to call it the Tri-K city.
The Tri-K city.
Yeah, because Tri-KM, I don't feel like that has the same ring to it.
How are you going to rebrand it? Like, other than just calling it the Tri-K city? Like,
I figured maybe send them a letter.
Just a letter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just explaining my
Would
thoughts.
you kiss that letter?
That one I probably would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably would, huh?
Yeah.
I bet you would. I bet you would.
Yeah, you probably would.
Yeah.
Probably would kiss someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you send them a letter and just call it the Tri-K city?
I'm glad I checked to make sure that we were plugged in.
Oh, we're plugged in.
We're ready to go.
Well, this is the second take, and honestly, we should do a third.
I feel like second take is generally best take, if I'm being completely honest.
It could be.
I think
it
always.
could be. Normally, I like about the 4 and 5s.
Fourth or fifth.
Yeah, for most Fair the Burn episodes, it's just 1. I usually just run and gun it.
Just run and go.
Yeah, just run and go.
Just shoot from the hip.
Yeah, shooting from the hip.
Okay.
And if we fuck up,
Does that go well?
No. But we've been, around for 2 years now, so it's pretty good.
I'd say you're still kicking it.
Yeah,
then.
we're here.
Yeah.
YouTube hasn't kicked us off, so 1 and guns, it's worked for us. Bam.
Bada bing, bada boom. Make it happen.
You, what are your Christmas traditions, Justin?
My, personal or family?
Do you have personal Christmas traditions?
That's a little personal.
Okay. What are your Christmas traditions?
The ones that I'm comfortable talking about, my family ones.
What are you saying, bro?
No, I don't have any. I don't have any secret personal ones.
Yeah, we know of.
Yeah, because I keep them secret and personal. No, we've got some fun ones. Usually, at some point throughout the year, my parents will have collected a Christmas ornament. Like if we go on like a vacation somewhere, they'll like try to find one along the trip or something along those lines, and then decorate the tree. And they got a pretty solid tree. I'm not gonna lie. We gotta go fake ones because your boy is allergic. So if I'm around a real Christmas tree, I like it starts to affect my like respiratory system.
Do you feel affected right now?
Do you got a real tree in here?
Yeah.
Are you trying to kill me, boy?
It seems like it, dude. It seems like it.
No, it's not like an immediate thing, and it's not a super severe thing. But it's like I had asthma as a kid, and then every Christmas we were like, man, Justin just really gets sick this time of year. That sucks. And then eventually we figured it out that I was allergic, and we got rid of the Christmas tree to, I think to the dismay of both of my parents. I think they both would like a real Christmas tree. But they've made sacrifices along the years. They have found beautiful, nice, artificial Christmas trees that look just like regular Christmas trees.
It doesn't have the same spirit.
They're just as pretty as prettier trees.
Yeah, they're just fake.
Yeah,
they don't fall apart.
They smell like Christmas in a plastic capitalist sense rather than the traditional like fir pine sense.
Christmas in China.
But Christmas in a different way. We all celebrate Christmas in our own way, and with my allergies, it's just a little bit more plastic. But it has led to me being able to set up an artificial tree and fluff the branches very well. So I think I'm going to add that to my resume this year.
That's good. good.
Yeah, I think it's a solid one. I think it's a good resume builder.
You guys, if you get plastic trees, you might as well get like multicolored one. You guys ever get like?
We got one with lights on it already, so.
Oh, like lights built into it?
Yeah, don't have to do it.
Wow, I'd probably buy that, to be honest.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah. What? But you never bought like an orange tree or like a.
Why would I buy an orange tree?
Well, oranges are pretty good, right? Like you can get an orange tree inside.
Did you, you know about like Christmas oranges, like chocolate oranges?
Kinda.
I didn't really know about them much, but apparently it's a ball covered in chocolate, and then you open it, and it's like got all these orange slices in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently that's Christmas.
I mean, listen, man. Christmas is just like supposed to be just the happiest part of winter, right? Because like winter is so sad.
It's like, hey, strap in. We're about to be depressed for a while.
Yeah, and it's like Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
You know, like I've been saying Merry Christmas so much today because this is the only time that I get to say it.
Yeah.
Right? Like you don't get to say it.
Well, I mean, you could say it other times, but it doesn't have the same ring.
Yeah, well, I mean, you just look like a crazy person if you're just coming at someone in July.
It's like June 25th, and you're like, Merry Christmas, and they're like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you can still do it. Like, there's no rules against it, but it's just, it doesn't come off as well. Yeah.
Well, they're sending you to the loony bin.
It's not as well received is what I'm trying to say.
At all.
Yeah.
Well, no one's going to say it back to you. That's the difference, right?
Time and place, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm saying Merry Christmas to people today because I'm like, you know,
Have they been saying it back?
Yeah, of course. It's Christmas. Nice. It's Christmas. Well, then they've all been working, right? So, how's your Christmas?
Rough.
Right. But yeah, man. I mean, it's the happiest time of.
Do you ever switch it up and try other like season's greetings?
Merry Kwanzaa, like shit like that.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff. Or just like. Imagine if somebody actually said season's greetings to you.
Season's greetings. Season's greetings.
I would think that they were like an NPC from a video game.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening? If some man was walking up to me in Walmart and he said season's greetings, I would be like,
only child.
Man, AI has done. It's come a long way.
Homeschooled.
You're doing well.
Not a real person.
But trying really hard, and I think we should commend him for that.
They could be an alien. That seems like something an alien would say.
If so, like, pretty spot on human, Like, if you're trying to go human and, like, you're that close, like, you almost got me.
That's like saying Happy Christmas. You're like, you know what?
And you're like, that's,
you did it.
Either English is, like, not your first language, or you may be from another planet. Like, that kind of thing.
Yeah. What do you think about aliens? Do you think they're real? Or do you think it's just Nazi-like propaganda that the U.S. is using to control us?
I don't think that I've ever heard the comparison of Nazi and alien before.
It's big.
I didn't realize that.
You should look into it. It's real things that were happening during World War II. I'm not lying, bro. I'm telling you the truth. And do you know what also came from the Nazis? The Olympics.
I knew about that one.
All of the stuff that we do in the Olympics comes from Nazis.
I don't know about all of it. Is that right?
Like a good amount of it, like the people running with the torch comes from
like
from
the ceremony
Nazis.
Type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Like all the people coming out, like.
I thought you meant like the events and things, and I was like, I feel like that goes back to Greece.
No. Well, I mean, there's new Olympic sports now, like breakdancing.
Oh.
Right. Like what are you gonna say about breakdancing? And you wanted to take out wrestling. What's a sport now, right? Soon it's gonna be Fortnite.
Like, what are the rules? Like,
what's a sport?
Is e-gaming in the Olympics yet?
It's gonna be.
Is it now?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I
love getting mad about future issues that aren't real, bro.
Dude.
Yeah.
Up top.
All this fucking metaverse land being owned by the white man coming in.
Dude, the metaverse, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I know how I feel about it, but I don't know how I feel about how it's unfolding, Like, I don't feel nearly as concerned as I once was that it was going to be like a big issue just because they rolled it out so terribly that everybody was like,
yeah, I
don't think we're ready for that.
Yeah, we were talking about that because you were like, yeah, I really think it's going to be big. And I think you said like 5 years. And I always thought it was going to be about 10 years to roll it out. And then I think like 15 to 20 it's going to get popping.
Yeah. I don't want to do it.
No, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like it's just such a disconnect from reality. Let's run away to this other world.
But that's where it's heading, right? Like, and they have there's a place in the downtown Boise in 8th and Main, the building where it's like a what? I think your water bottle is over there on the ground. Maybe not.
Grazie, signor.
Yeah, but there's a place.
Makes for good audio, I've heard.
Yeah.
Doing things off camera.
You know what, dude? People can complain about whatever they want on the podcast. I don't care.
I think it just makes for good airtime. I think that we should do more pantomime type scenes over podcast format.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially that would be good if you didn't even have video, right? So absolutely nobody knows how it's going.
True. Yeah. The video does kind of ruin it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
maybe scratch it.
You know, because you could ask the question, is art still
scratch
art
it and just
even
make
if
it...
nobody sees it?
Ooh.
You know,
that's
is it still art?
That's a deep philosophical question.
Yeah. I'm sure no one would ever get mad at that question.
I don't think so.
No.
I think it's one that has a very obvious answer. And, I think because of that, nobody would argue about it. They would just be like, yeah, obviously, this is the answer. And then everybody else would be like, we agree. We've come to the same conclusion.
Right.
And then there's just no disagreement about it. Like, that's something everybody's on the same page.
Do you think that makes it right? Do you think it makes it right if everyone agrees?
Ooh, that's an even more fun question. Like, if everybody agrees about something, does that mean that it's right?
Yeah.
No.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
No, I
Why?
definitely disagree with that. I think something could be believed by everyone and still be wrong. Yeah. Like think about it makes me think of the It's Always Sunny bit where he's like all of the former scientists. And turns out he was a bitch.
Yeah.
But like, you know, at one point, like it was thought that like we went around the sun, or that we that the sun went around us. That we were Earth centric. And then it turned out, oh shit, that's not right. But like we were just following the evidence, and it seemed like it was it didn't seem like anybody knew that it was wrong, and they were like, man,
how do we know that's not wrong?
What do you mean?
How do we know that the sun doesn't go around us, Justin?
Well, I feel like if we found evidence against it, then we'd be like, hey, maybe. But I feel like we just haven't found anything against that. You know? You're
just gonna believe all the scientists,
dude. I have not poured through any of the documents. I am believing it all on faith.
Yeah. So, what would you call yourself then? A Scientologist?
That sounds like a good term for it.
Yeah. I think it'd make you pretty successful, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that doesn't exist currently, so let's make it happen.
All right. Yeah, I'm down.
Scientology.
Cheers.
The creation.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Chrysler.
Great in Scientology.
I think that probably made for good airtime as well. Us cheersing silently and then drinking coffee.
Listen, bro. I don't.
You hear that?
I do this whole episode in ASMR, dude. I literally don't care. Now back to the question: what do you think about aliens, or do you think it's just Nazi propaganda, Nazi-like propaganda?
I did forget that was the initial question. I appreciate you bringing us back on track.
Always.
Good host.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Thanks. Been doing it 2 years.
Good. Yeah, I could tell. You got experience.
I even hosted the Numpty Boys back in the day. I would say.
Did you?
I mean, we were all co-hosts, but we knew who the host was.
Yeah,
we
it was
knew
you.
who the host was.
We knew it was Jan.
Come on.
Yeah, you made the logo.
Yeah.
I
did it in my house. I had all the equipment.
It was all your equipment.
Yeah. Still got it.
Yep, I didn't have any of it.
No.
That's
okay. I just wanted to hang
happily
out with you guys.
participated. That was my level of participation in it.
And I'll be honest with you, you weren't even there half the time.
True.
That's all good.
No, it's true. I think the majority of those episodes were you and Dave, the Numpty Boys.
Yeah, we had one with Michael that came out.
I forgot about the Michael one.
I had 2 solo podcasts, and you were probably on about half of them.
Was that the Wine Boy?
No, Winecast is this podcast.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember.
It was called Chan Boy.
That's
it was
what
called
it was.
Chan
Boy.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember the exact name for it. Yeah.
I like doing those solo podcasts, man. I figured
Good
out
times,
it's a
man.
little bit better if I do them shorter.
Yeah.
I just came out with this new series called What's Good Wednesdays.
Oh.
Drops every Wednesday now, where I talk about the winner of the week, the world's biggest story, and who did the worst in the week.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good format. Nice and concise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the first episode, I talked about how the word of the year for 2022 was goblin mode.
Is that accurate?
It is.
Goblin mode?
Goblin mode. Do you know the last words of the year, the last couple of years, are fucking ridiculous? In 2016, it was youthquake.
Who makes this list? That sounds so out of touch.
The Oxford Dictionary. The Oxford institution with the dictionary, bro.
I wouldn't trust them to be able to sum up any year.
Guess what 2021's was?
What was that?
Vax. When did you ever hear someone actually say the word vax instead of vaccine?
I feel like I always either heard vaccine or anti-vax.
It should have been anti-vax.
It should have been anti-vax.
Yeah. No, but it was just vax.
I feel like you got to make vax to be able to have anti-vax, so maybe that's why. But I never heard anybody say, like, hey, you get your vax?
Yeah, right? They'd be like, you get the shot?
Yeah.
Or you get the vaccine?
Yeah.
But just vax.
And I don't think honestly, I even heard anybody be like, hey, are you vax or anti-vax? I would be like,
yeah.
They just would say, like, hey, are you anti-vax?
Exactly.
Or they would be like, what are your thoughts on the vaccine? Like
you're saying, it sounds like an old grandma who's trying to be hip with the kids.
Exactly.
Right? So she's like, oh, what are they saying nowadays?
Is
Goblin mode? Are they saying we're going goblin mode?
Can I tell you how many times in the year 2022 that I've heard the phrase goblin mode? Never.
Absolutely never.
Until you mentioned it.
Well, and guess what?
What's that?
It's the word of the year.
I don't think that's accurate, though.
It's 2 words.
I would like to argue it.
Is it goblin or is it mode?
I feel like it has to be a different one.
I think, honestly, and this might have been why, normally it's through the institution, right? Which is still so stupid because...
What is... could you elaborate on the institution?
No, it's the Oxford institution. It's the place with the words when you look them up online. Anyways,
the place with the words? That's
what a fucking library is, bro, with dictionaries and
right.
stuff.
So, what is this institution?
I don't know the exact institution. Right? But I think this was the first year they opened it to the public.
It's just been a private institution.
Well, it's been like scholars and stuff and people who like know things about words, like what words get added to the dictionary and like who works for the dictionary. People who work for Oxford, bro.
Who's Oxford?
Oxford dictionaries.
Yeah, no, I got those.
Yeah, that's the thing though, right? So this year,
they get to make the words.
Well, they just like accept the words and then they like vote on like who got the word of the year and whatnot. Right, that's where you get
like,
facts. And like the word of the year in 2020 was unprecedented, which actually makes sense, right?
Who won that?
What do you mean who won it? Unprecedented won it.
No.
The word.
Yeah, but who made that word? Like who won? Who gets credit for?
You don't like get credit.
Well, then why would you?
Unprecedented.
How do you win? How do I win word of the year?
You don't. You're not a word.
But I could make a word.
You could, right? And if you like copyrighted that word, I guess if you had the word or whatever. But no,
I
dude,
just
it's
hear
like,
people are winning word of the year, and I would like to win word of the year.
Nobody's winning. Like the word unprecedented already existed.
Right.
Right.
But it won.
It won. Exactly.
How did it win?
I don't know, dude. Like there's an institution.
What were the rules? Like how did they vote on it?
I don't know.
Man. I'm just curious now.
So much.
I feel like I've just eaten like a small appetizer at a big fancy meal, and I would like to know more.
You can do all the research you wanted.
I will come back with some answers for you.
Yeah.
About how to win word of the year.
Good. So hopefully you can save us from having it be goblin mode again.
Yeah, I feel like we gotta have better rules because
Dude,
that can't be the word. That can't be the word of the year.
I think in 2015 it was the laughing emoji.
I
It was straight up just the laughing emoji. I'm telling you, it's mind-boggling.
I don't feel like that can be a word.
That's what I'm saying.
Because I feel like that's okay. Not to be too technical, but that's fucking code. Like that that is most likely either colon or start parenthesis. Like what? Smile emoji. Is that what he said?
It's the laughing emoji.
Laughing.
The crying laughing emoji.
It's probably like colon laughing colon. Like
Yeah.
that can't be word of the year.
It is. It was.
Okay, but to be fair, it probably was the thing that was communicated between two people the most.
Exactly, but still, it can't win, dude. And
we
you
need better
can't-
rules then. Yeah. If we don't like the winners, then we have to change the rules.
we need to run the institution. We're running the institution.
Scientology is well underway.
All right, Justin, I have no idea how far we are into this episode, and I'm really not going to look, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But I want to do a new segment with you. Okay.
New segment.
And since you already brought up Always Sunny, I actually think that this is the perfect time to do it.
Perfect.
So this is
Are
called
we gonna play? What is
Tournament of Fools.
Charlie McDennis?
It's pretty close to Charlie McDennis. So this is going to be Tournament of Fools, okay? So here's what's
Okay.
going to do. Here's what we're going to do.
Oh.
I'm going to introduce it, and
I think you told me about this one. Sorry, continue.
You are singing the theme song, okay?
I'm
going to introduce
singing
it.
a theme song.
Yeah, I'm going to introduce it, okay? So I'm going to say, welcome to Tournament of Fools, and then you're going to sing whatever Tournament of Fools theme
Tournament
song.
of Fools.
Hold on to it, though, right?
Yeah, no, I gotta let the people get a little taste first.
Okay, and then we're going to do a Tournament of Fools about Always Sunny episodes.
Okay.
I have already 8 picked out.
Perfect.
I ranked them. We'll go over them. And I just want to make sure
I have some strongly held opinions about this.
Before we go into this, your favorite Always Sunny episode is... Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode is...
Oh, boy. That's a tough question. I should have prepped an answer for this. I don't have a good one.
Can you do top 2 or 3?
Yeah, I would say Christmas episode's up there. I would say Charlie Work is up there. And I would say The Gang Goes to Hell 1 and 2 is probably up there as well.
That's great, because none of those are on my list.
Good.
So...
Breaking the list already.
Perfect.
We're open for discussion.
We can talk about maybe changing 1 or 2 of them out.
Could I have a piece of paper?
Yeah.
I would like to take some notes on this. I would like to take this discussion seriously with you, Chandler.
Sure.
I just want you to know that I'm invested in this topic and this discussion.
And now welcome
Hello.
to Tournament of Fools.
Tournament? Tournament of Fools. Tournament of Fools.
With Justin Lewis.
And Chandler Fair. This message brought to you by Midas.
Brought to you by Pfizer.
Brought to you by Pfizer.
All right. Here's the episode we have. And these are in order from 8 to 1. So I have these listed from the bottom to the top.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm into that.
Gang gets analyzed.
Okay.
Okay. Dennis and Dee go on welfare.
Love it.
Electric Boogaloo. Charlie McDennis too.
Okay.
The Serial Defense.
The Serial Defense is a good one. Oh, I also forgot another one.
Gas Crisis. The gang solves the gas crisis.
Sorry, what was the last one that you just said?
The Serial Defense.
Serial Defense. Okay.
Gang solves the gas crisis.
Okay.
Thunder Gun Express.
I wouldn't have expected that
Here's what I thought your favorite was. Dennis System.
one. Ooh, I do love Dance System.
And then, of course, number 1, It's Me. You know what it is. You gotta know. What's my favorite episode of Always Sunny?
Oh, I don't know. Did I not say that as one of mine? I don't think that I did. But the musical. Yeah.
Nightman Cometh.
The Nightman Cometh. Thank you. That should have been my favorite. I should have put that down. You are correct that is my favorite. I would like to. Okay. So I have your list.
So now they're in a tournament, right? So 1 plays 8.
Can I bring up a couple to make sure that you're not forgetting any good ones?
Sure. Do you want to change any of these out, or we can change the rankings, I suppose, real quick?
Well, I think the rankings are pretty solid. I think those are. I think that's a good ranking system for them. I would argue potentially in place of welfare, either the Boss Hog episode, the drinking beers in the sky, or Charlie Work, just because of the one shot aspect of it.
The camera angle.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about Charlie Work until you brought it up.
I think either Charlie work or the it's one of Jules' favorites. The water park episode.
Oh, the water park
I
episode
know
is so good.
it's so good, and it's such a good build to like such a great climax joke. I feel like that one has to go in. It burns! It burns! It burns! Like it's just so good, and also it's Danny DeVito. Like it has to. That's such
All
a
right,
good
let's
one.
rock paper scissors.
Okay,
So instead of welfare, we'll replace it with either water park or Charlie work.
that sounds good.
And
Yeah,
I'll do Charlie work.
I'll go water park.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
ready?
fair.
1, 2,
That's
3,
fair.
shoot.
1, 2, 3, shoot. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Nice.
Charlie work.
All right, Charlie work it
All
is.
right.
Charlie work I think is a good alternative. That's a good one.
'Cause
But I agree with
didn't
all the
even
rest. I think the
about
rest
it.
are good.
All right, so we're doing that instead of what?
Instead of
welfare.
welfare. Yeah.
So that's a good.
Good starting lineup.
All right, you ready?
Think so.
First matchup: Nightman Cometh versus the Gang Gets Analyzed. Now, this actually is a better matchup than I thought it was going to be initially.
Yeah.
Because I love the Gang Gets Analyzed. Because I love you really get to see the breakdown. Because I was confused by Always Sunny the first, 10 episodes I watched.
No, I get that.
I was
Yeah.
like, I have no idea what's going on in the show. And then I watched the Gang Gets Analyzed, and I was like, oh, all of them have, their own mental illnesses that they're all dealing with, and they're so deep-rooted in them.
Yeah.
Right? That, it's just based off of character, and there's no story arc to any of this.
Exactly. It's literal situational comedy. Like it is the true definition of what a sitcom should be. Where
Exactly.
it is these characters are put into completely different situations, not just within this one home or this one set. Like it truly should be let's put these characters onto a plane, a commercial flight, and have them try to break a record for drinking as many beers as they can on this flight, and then still have to play within the rules of the flight.
Yeah.
I think that makes it more fun than trying to be okay, these are the rules that we operate within, and let's have fun with that. It's these are the rules that we operate within, and let's throw them in whatever we can find and see what is the most funny. I think that is the best situational comedy, and in that regard, I think the Gang Gets Analyzed does a great job of showing why they all operate the way that they do in those situations.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, because so much of it is also how much does the alcohol really is affecting them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the Gang Gets Analyzed, again, breaks it down who everybody is, because you get a piece of all of them.
Yep.
Right? Off to their own. Because so much of it, you could be oh, these are just drinking buddies just getting wrapped up in fucking crazy shenanigans. But at the same time, The Nightman Cometh is the best episode of Always Sunny of all time.
I think that it has to be. I think that it is just created in such a way that it's definitely one of the most and this sounds so stupid if you're just if you don't know anything about the show and you just went in and you were okay, I'm going to take this man's word for this being the most artful episode of It's Always Sunny, and then you just watch that episode, you'd be what the there's no way that this is artful. But if you have the character, it's just so true to the circumstances of each of the characters, and the story is so well crafted to tell such a dumb story so honestly and earnestly that I think it's just fun. Plus it's obviously the most musical of the episodes as well.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I don't know I would say that you could argue that with The Gang Turns Black.
Oh,
Because The
true.
Gang
Yeah,
Turns Black
I
is
forgot that
also
that's
musical.
just a straight musical as well. Yeah.
But
Didn't they sing in one of the Christmas episodes as well?
I think so.
The one with the animated Christmas portion.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. I'm not too familiar with the Christmas episodes, which I wish I would have watched.
That's a good one
before
too.
This.
Yeah.
Well, it's the Christmas episode, bro. I
You
should have done.
gotta watch it tomorrow. Yeah,
Yeah, we gotta watch it tomorrow. Yeah.
I'm just adding what season and episode.
Oh, gotcha. So, yeah, I think the payoff of of Nightman too, because they sing the song before that episode even.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's when like Dennis finds Charlie and he's been huffing paint and stuff.
I forgot that they like layered that in beforehand. Yeah.
And they're those like dudes singing at the bar.
Uh-huh.
in the what do you call it? Spandex suits.
When it's like,
hey man,
was that like Gang tries to win an award or something like that, where
it might be.
they like come in and he's singing that song and they're like they kind of like it, and then they come back in and he's like,
you know what I actually
spiders.
yeah. I can't remember if that was Gang tries to win an award or the R word. The D dates an R-worded person.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Because that's a music. Because he's a rapper.
Yeah.
So who do you think wins this matchup here?
I think it's tough because I think that you're right that the Gang Gets Analyzed does make a good case with just how much of It's Always Sunny it explains. So I think that makes a good case for like best episode in terms of like encompassing It's Always Sunny, but I think Nightman Cometh has to take the cake.
I'd agree.
I think that musical is just a little bit too perfect, and has some of the most quotable lines, like when he's pulling out the gun and he's like, "What is that?" And he's like, "You know what it is, bitch." Like there's just moments like that that are a little too good. So I think Nightman Cometh takes the cake.
I would agree. And it has the greatest monologue of all time. Charlie's monologue to D.
When he's talking about the art that
Don't
he created.
screw you! Oh, I'm sorry, D! Well, let me remember. Did D write a musical and come to Charlie with it? No! Charlie wrote a musical and came to D with it! And the gang likes to screw things up and take it away from Charlie and ruin his hopes and dreams! Yeah. I remember I did that for an audition one time.
Did you really?
Yeah, for Starlight. I was like, I was auditioning for Sebastian. I wanted to be Sebastian in Little Mermaid, and I was like, this seems like a pissed off music director, because that's exactly what Charlie's playing in that episode. Okay, next.
What's our next lineup?
Next matchup is
what do we got?
Gang solves the gas crisis versus the serial defense.
And remind me, the serial defense had both the argument of who was at fault when Danny DeVito slammed into the back of Dennis's vehicle, and also the argument of
God.
Okay,
because that's that episode. He's a little bitch.
Man, I think. Yeah, I feel like that one has to, as much as I love the gas crisis one, and with how topical it is today with these gas prices.
And at the same time, you got to think that's where they get the idea of wild card. Because gas crisis is where they understand the idea of no, you're the brains, I'm the lead.
And wild card gets referenced just a few times in future episodes, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm down with that. Yeah, as much as I love that part of gas crisis serial defense, that the moments of them arguing like lawyers presenting their cases and like the delivery of their rebuttals to each other is just a perfect format for those characters to have that discussion. So I think serial defense has to take the cake on that.
I'll give it to you.
Yeah?
I'll give it to you.
All right.
Yeah. It's not something I'm willing to lose a friendship over. I love Gas Crisis, though. I think it's a really underrated episode.
Yeah. And Wildcard, especially, like, coming back in, like, the Leprechaun episode.
Well, and just Charlie at the end, I cut the brakes! Wildcard, bitches! Yeah!
Jumping out the back of the car.
So beautiful. All right. Next matchup. The Dennis system versus Charlie work.
Ooh.
Number 3 versus number 7. Or number 3 versus number 6.
Dennis system just sets such a good foundation for Dennis as a character, though. And for all of the interactions that are, like, through the lens of Dennis's weird, like his weird perspective is like shown in that and so well received that they like really capitalize on it and really continue going that direction for a lot of the show. But Charlie Work is just shot in such a different way than any of the other episodes, and like when people haven't seen it and I want to show them like what It's Always Sunny is, that's one of the few episodes that I like select first, just because it's such a well crafted episode. I
would say they do the same thing for both characters.
Yeah.
It really gives you like the idea of who are these characters and like how do they view the world, right? Because Charlie doesn't always get the credit that he thinks he deserves.
Yeah.
Charlie does a lot for the bar, and Charlie Work shows you that.
True.
But Dennis is also a psychopath who has a very well crafted idea of how he's gonna have sex with these women.
Yep.
Right.
Well, and like how he views the world as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think more importantly, it also shows like what each of them individually bring to the gang and to the show. That like Charlie really is the glue that keeps everything together, and he is the weird or the guy doing the weird things behind the scenes that nobody else wants to do. That you're like, how would that even get done with those character dynamics in like a bar setting? Like, how does this bar like continue to run? And it's like,
Charlie.
oh, I might not pay the heat bill, but I'll go downstairs and burn trash and like create heat through this like furnace of like toxic carbon monoxide downstairs to kill the rats that are also a problem. Like he's solving the problems, but like doing it in his own way. And then in the Dennis system, like it really does show like how much the plot of the show revolves around Dennis's sexual exploits and like the crazy lengths that he will go just to get someone that he is like obsessing over. So, oh man, that's a tough argument. Those two episodes.
Speaking of which, I know the last season isn't necessarily everybody's favorite. It's not mine either. But that episode where he's talking about how he figured out how to date girls of our generation, where he was like, none of these girls actually care what you think. They just want you to agree with them. So he just like starts repeating back to the girl what she's saying to him, and then she gets what she wants, and I get what I want. Yes, Daddy.
And
that just his face too, and that is so funny.
Well, and like I think he is like the character that has stayed like the most true to himself through the whole like story of the show. Like the character of Mac definitely has the most change, but like from start to finish, like Dennis, his whole goal is just to get it in, you know. And it's just all of these different ways that he goes about doing that, and like it might change a little bit over time, but it's still the same goal at the end of the day. Which, I think there's something to be commended for the consistency of that character still working through all of those seasons as well.
And I hate to say it, but I just feel like Glenn Howerton just plays less crazy Dennises when he's not Dennis. And I like his acting. I'm not like mad at it. It's like very Vince Vaughn-esque where I'm like, okay, you're playing, yourself, but
you do it well.
You do it well. Yeah, I like it. I like it. You should be in more stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like we're gonna have to rock paper scissors about this.
Yeah, I don't know that I would be able to choose between the two of them.
And I feel like you gotta do Dennis and I gotta do Charlie Work.
Yeah.
That's what I feel.
I think that's fair. Yep.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, shoot. 1, 2, 3, shoot.
I think for our audio viewers, we should also say I won.
I mean, clearly. All right, so
Dennis
system moves on.
That's a winner.
And we also had Serial Defense 1.
Correct. Now it's Electric Boogaloo and Thundergun Express.
This is also pretty good, but I feel like it's more clear cut. I really feel like Bugaloo Express takes the cake on it.
Boogaloo Express? You just combined the two options.
Yeah, if I could just throw both of them in there.
Yeah, Electric Thundergun. That's my episode.
Which one do you like better, Electric Thundergun or Bugaloo Express?
Boogaloo Express, hands down. You can't.
It's a cult classic.
Any movie with the word Boogaloo in it, I'm gonna see that movie.
Absolutely.
Even if the movie is just called Boogaloo.
What does Boogaloo mean?
I don't know.
It's a real word?
It's it's one of those things that's just provocative. It just gets people going. Like nobody really knows what it means. Like what is a boogaloo? You know. I think end of the day, gun to my head, I have one question for God: what is boogaloo?
I hope when I meet God, that's what I get to ask him.
If I only get one question, I think I would be disappointed in myself if I chose something different.
Like, not even like, what's the biggest mistake I made in my life? I'd be like,
no. No, and even if he was like, "Hey, do you want to know the meaning of life? Like, do you want to know why I put you individually on this earth with this particular set of skills?"
Liam Neeson.
Yeah, I mean, you can't put those words in that order and not think of Liam
Come
Neeson. Particular set of skills, like he should just own a
copyrighted
trademark.
it.
Yeah, he should own a trademark for that just because
He
it's so
already
iconic.
does.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's Electric Boogaloo.
You think so?
Dude, I mean, the Thunder Gun Express, it's a really great episode.
So are we just gonna rule out Bugaloo Express? Like we're not even gonna talk about it?
I mean, I was kind of, I was ready to burn it, to be honest with you.
All right, let's burn it.
Yeah.
Send it to the trash.
I already got a lighter.
I think Electric Boogaloo is the winner as well. If I'm being completely honest, I want to make a case for Thunder Gun Express just so that then we can have more of a conversation about it.
Here's the case.
But like Thunder Gun Express, as much as I enjoy the episode, I would already consider switching it out for something different, like the weather episode.
Yes, where they're trying to get the girls to get the implication.
Because of the implication, and also like it sets up the weather lady for like future episodes as well.
Thunder Gun Express was probably my weirdest pick because I think it was also ranked number 3. It should have been lower, so I can understand that. Thinking about it in hindsight, obviously.
Hey,
I think
hindsight's 2020, you know?
the case you could make for it is the storyline with Frank throughout it, right? Because Frank steals the boat, and then he calls in the bomb threat.
I would like to apologize. I've completely neglected two very important episodes. Number one being Frank. How did we forget?
Yeah, it's true.
It is
Charlie
literal Danny DeVito POV. Like,
yeah.
How did we not talk about that? It's first person shooter Danny DeVito. Like that. It's what I've always wanted is to know what it's like to be Danny DeVito, and they finally gave me what that was in that episode, and I rudely left it out of the discussion.
I found it oddly familiar.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like there were moments that you were like, "Oh, is that? Why are we highlighting that? Is that supposed to be abnormal?"
Yeah. I was just like, the angle that he sees everything from. Yeah, it's very.
Like, this makes sense.
This is everyday life.
Yeah. Like it was a little too slice of life for you.
Yeah, it was very Chekhovian.
I could see that. Yeah.
Naturalism.
I think that's what it was intended to be as well. So I'm glad that you picked up on that.
Well, it's about poor people.
The other option that I wish that we would have switched welfare out for maybe is the Ponderosa Wedding.
See, there's so many good episodes.
There's just too many good episodes.
It's hard to choose a name. It's hard to choose.
So I think we go no to Thunder Gun Express, and we go yes to Electric Boogaloo.
All right, here we go.
Let's keep us back on track.
Round two.
We're
looking at Nightman Cometh versus the Serial Defense.
That's a tough one, partner.
I
will let you open the floor.
I still think it's a pretty easy argument, to be honest with you. I still think Nightman Cometh, it's just going to be hard to take it down. Serial Defense, like the whole them being in a kangaroo court in this bar is fucking ridiculous. And it's beautiful and it speaks so...
I would like to apologize. I'm sure that was just awful audio.
It just speaks to so much of what the show was going for. Yeah. And the arguments, and always being like, "Oh, well, I'm on his side now, and I'm on their side," and like the flipping back and forth.
Man, yeah, the Serial Defense does make such a good argument, if you will. But like truly, like that's a tough one to take down as well, just because it does show like loyalties between the characters. It shows like individual characteristics, like what sways people.
Well, and the whole debate of God really goes into like Mac's like beliefs and like Catholicism.
But then it like builds upon later.
and the argument of he's a little bitch, right? Like,
about the scientist being wrong.
yeah. So if it again, like you said, we have very good statements. These are good opening arguments, right?
Yeah.
But when we're talking about the Nightman cometh,
I
right?
feel like that episode operates on a different level.
You gotta pay the troll toll to get
Get
into
this
this
boy's
boy's hole.
hole.
You gotta pay the troll
Troll
toll to get in.
in.
Like it's just iconic.
It's
These are things that we sang in song tag in college at our theater, department.
Yeah.
And everyone sang along.
They knew the words.
They knew.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I think Nightmare Cometh takes the cake on that one as well.
I hate to say it, man. Because I love the serial defense too,
But you have things like Mac wearing cat eyes and doing karate across the stage. Like it's too spot on.
And Dee's song that she puts in. And she's like, I'm gonna do my own song. I swear to God, if you do your own song, I'm gonna cut you into tiny little pieces.
When he's just watching her fuming from the side of the stage. Yeah.
So yeah, I would agree. Let's go Nightman Cometh.
Let's do that one.
All right. Next matchup in round 2, the Dennis system versus Electric Boogaloo. I'll let you open this one, my friend.
I'm going with Dennis System. Convince me.
We already know Charlie McDennis is a great game.
It's a great game.
Right. It's arguably the greatest game of all time. And it's the closest the game's ever been. And we got to think about the times that they've played. They like the Golden Geese have won 950 million games,
yeah.
right? Whatever the number is.
Yeah.
But this game, and it has the extra level.
The stakes.
Horror. Okay. It's a great episode about corruption, right? Because Frank hires the guy. Frank hires the guy to play the game with him, right? And it goes into, and that's great for our culture, right? To really express the corruption that we see from the wealthy elites in our culture.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
I'm convincing you, aren't I?
I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
I see the game we're playing.
Yeah. Why do you think Dennis System over Electric Boogaloo? Or should I say, Electric Express?
Electric Express. I would say you do make a good argument for Electric Boogaloo. But I think Dennis System, what we were talking about of like it building the foundation for the plot of so many of their like future exploits, like after that one moment, as well as just the way that all of the pieces tie together and create like an almost like American Psycho-esque creature in Dennis, where it's like it shows what's behind the curtain, you know? It gives you a glimpse of the inner workings of the... It's like you finally get to understand what's in the mind of Frankenstein's monster. You're like, why has this man been doing the crazy things that he's been doing? And then these are the reasons behind the curtain, you know?
And how does he look so good?
So goddamn good doing it.
So good.
Yeah. With all those sit-ups in the morning, Christian Bale.
And, what was it, the cream?
The cream.
His cream or his ointment or whatever.
Yeah, it puts the lotion on his skin or it gets those again.
I think that's the wrong movie, bro.
Hey, it's the same genre. It's close.
Yeah.
Yeah, time period was close as well.
So you sticking with Dennis System, you think?
I don't know. That's a tough one. I think Electric Boogaloo also gets some help from having the previously established Charlie McDennis one, but that's not necessarily a knock against it for building on something that was already successful. But I think Dennis System just laid a nice foundation. I don't know. I could be convinced either way.
Here's what I think. I think there's very few episodes actually in Electric Boogaloo that are like
Hmm.
And can you do the whole dentist system?
I think so. Yeah. Demonstrate value. Like emotionally neglect, I believe. Or no, engage physically. Like neglect or something. Neglect
I feel like it's
emotionally.
nurture and then neglect, isn't it? Because I think one of the ends is nurture.
I think you might be right. Yeah, nurture and then neglect. I, because I know S is separate entirely. It's so good.
I can't remember what I is.
It was, but like
Yeah.
pretty close.
Yeah. I was gonna say I was gonna give it to you if you could do all of it.
Yeah.
But if not, I think we might have to go Electric Boogaloo, bro.
It was something about like instilling a dependence or something, but I don't.
Oh, I think you might be right.
All right.
I feel like we should go dentist system.
I gotta look it up. I gotta see what dentist system actually is. I think we gotta go dentist system as well.
Separate entirely.
Yeah.
I mean, and what better way to come down other than number 1 and number 2, right?
So
Cometh.
for people at home who may not actually know the dentist system, it is demonstrate value, engage physically, nurturing dependence, neglect emotionally, inspire hope, and that is what we were forgetting.
Yep.
And then separate entirely. So demonstrate value, engage physically, nurturing dependence, neglect emotionally, inspire hope, and separate entirely. It sounds like I'm walking through a to-do list for how to create an abusive relationship. Which, I mean, at its core, that is what the dentist system is.
Absolutely.
A to-do list for emotional abuse.
So
that leaves, dentist system and Nightman Cometh.
I think we might be on two sides of the coin right here, man.
I feel like I want to play devil's advocate, but I don't know that I can because Nightman Cometh is just such a beautiful episode.
It's just too good, man. I think we knew that it was going to come down to that anyway.
I think that we had a sneaking suspicion, especially when we already rated it number 1.
Yeah.
And I said that it was my favorite episode before
and I
we
also
began.
claim it as my favorite.
But I think that we did a good explanation of why.
Do you think it'd be a good first episode for someone to watch? Like, what episode would you send someone to?
See, I wouldn't send them to Nightman Cometh first.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I feel like that's a lot to take in right out of the gate.
Well, and there's so much of the story with the waitress that you need to know before.
I feel like Gang Gets Analyzed is a good starting point.
That's
I think
good.
you're right about it explaining a lot. I think Dentist System is another solid building block. I think I don't remember what happens on the other side of the plot, but Frank comes out of retirement is another good one. I just don't remember what happens on the D Dennis and
I think they're trying
Max
to get
side of
the bar, aren't they? And Charlie's always running back, or Max always running back and forth and being like,
I think,
he's like, I'm on your side, but I'm on their side, and I told them I'm on your side. And they're like, it doesn't work if you tell both of us that you're on each other's sides. Like, I'm not going to tell you anything.
He's trying to double cross, and it's just not working at all. He's just outing himself to both sides. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, because then at the end, he gets, like, Frankito or whatever. Do you remember the first episode of Always Sunny that you watched? Like, the first one you were exposed to?
I think I started from the beginning, and I think I was like, wow, this is a lot. I don't know. What is this about? And I think the second season was a little bit easier, like a little bit more palatable. But then going back and watching the first, because I think I watched the first episode, and then I think I watched the second season. Like I just skipped the rest of season 1, went to season 2, because I think I also wanted Danny DeVito to be in it. And I think not having him in the first season, I was like, this isn't quite what I was expecting it to be. And then seeing him in later seasons, I was like, okay, yeah, no, this is great. But then going back and then watching, I think I watched all of season 2. I think I might have even watched season 3 and then gone back and watched all of season 1, which felt kind of weird, but I didn't feel like I was out of the loop. Like it feels like you could start wherever if you wanted to, but
you absolutely could. But just like some episodes would be better to start on than others.
True.
Right, and like I started on Gang Buys a Boat. That's the first
I
one.
feel like that's a pretty solid one.
It was not. We were partying. We were partying, and
It was
I
not.
was already fucked up, and I was like watching this episode, this show, and I was like, what
Just lost.
is happening?
Yeah.
And these people are psychopaths.
But like you
That's
got
kinda,
the takeaway of the show right out of the gate, though.
yeah, but like I didn't really get it. I didn't really. I thought it was like.
Were you drawn in?
Yeah.
I would say it was.
Yeah, of course I was drawn in. I kept watching it. Well, it felt like, what's the writer who does Waiting for Godot? Is it Beckett?
Oh,
I feel like it's not Beckett.
I feel like I should know this.
I feel like you should too.
I feel like I have a degree in this.
I feel like it's Samuel Beckett.
That sounds correct.
And let's
to me.
look that up. Us being
I think we should fact check that one.
theater degree people. I feel like it's.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Mamet, but I know it's not Mamet.
No, it's definitely not. I know it's at least not Mamet. But you might be right with Beckett.
Yeah, Samuel Beckett.
Yeah.
All right, Jay. Well, that's an hour.
Hey, that's a pretty good podcast right there.
Yeah. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
I hope that you have a good rest of your Christmas.
Thank you.
And thank you for being my friend. I was saying this, I think, at the beginning, but
Oh yeah.
just listening to myself through the years of this podcast, I was taking in some episodes recently. Just kind of I want to see like where I was 2 years ago, a year ago. I like to listen a little bit sometimes.
It's good for reflection.
Yeah, and I've never been a criminal, but I've certainly been fucking stupid in the past. And just listening to myself sometimes, I'm like, Chan, you need help, bro. Like, you just need help with your mind and being dumb and just not always listening to people. I think I've had a problem with not doing that. So I appreciate you being my friend through the years, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, of course.
So
I know that you can tell people, like, you can give people advice so many times, but you're right that it has to be received well, and it has to be. I think what I've learned and what I would wish that I would have been able to do earlier on is like give advice in the way that people want to receive advice. I think I just always just like threw advice out like the way that I would want advice to be received, and that's not always what people want. And so I've been trying to figure out like a better way to give advice. That's right.
yeah, it was time was up anyway.
Yeah. But I think I have always known that you've appreciated the advice, and I can always tell that you're receptive to it. Maybe not always in each individual moment, but like at the end of the day, like we understand and we have good dialogue about things. I think it can be tough just to get ideas across to people, and I feel like once you have like a good through line, like a good not through line, but like a vein of communication between two people, then ideas start to flow a little bit easier. And you've definitely been one that I've always been that it's been easy to talk to about things.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, just trying to get better, and like I beat myself up so much because I have many people in my life who aren't necessarily fond of me, and that's okay because not everyone is for everybody, and some people are in your life for seasons and reasons, and other not. But I really am thankful for the people in my life who are like family to me. So yeah, I really consider you family.
I think there comes like a connection between people sometimes that's like familial. That's like regardless of like what people do or like the life that people choose. Like you'll always be family. And I think people say that sometimes, but I think like you and not to bring him into this too much, but and Dave as well.
Yeah, you can bring David into this. He's
yeah,
fucking
for
been on
sure.
the podcast a million times.
No, I
so
know, yeah, but
we know,
like,
fuck you, David.
Exactly, but I still want to like give you the moment as well, though. That like I do truly appreciate your friendship, and for how often I've been there for you, you've also been there for me, and like maybe I don't maybe I don't always like need it, but you're always there, and that's something that I think you should absolutely be commended for, and something that I'm eternally grateful for.
Thanks, brother.
Absolutely, yeah. And Merry Christmas Eve to you, my man.
Merry Christmas Eve to you, brother, and thank you to everyone listening.
Thanks for tuning in. Hope we blessed your ears this Christmas.
Or not.
Or not.
I hope
if you're there, knock. If you're not there, don't knock.
What ends with so bad at any podcast, and I never know how to do it.
And this podcast on 3. 1, 2, 3.